Hi, come on in.
And join in. It's the Very Merry Life. Hi, I'm Mary Hendricks, and you might know me as that relatable AF Mama over on Instagram who hopefully feels like an old friend at this point. And if not, it won't be long till it feels that way as we get raw, unfiltered, and very unapologetic in all things motherhood, marriage, sex, and more. From moments worth savoring to moments worth surviving, get ready to leave feeling seen and supported. You have a friend here now, so hey, take a seat. What's going on?
Howdy do. This is Mr. McAllister.
Name that movie. Hi, guys. Welcome back to another episode. Obviously, get Kev and I again. I'm going to try like every month to do an episode with him and I.
Hard to pin down.
Yeah, it's hard. It is. Because by the time the end of the night rolls around, we don't want to do shit. And this included. I love podcasting, but no. When I'm tapped out, I'm tapped out. But we are going to sit down because obviously if you are following along on Instagram and social media, we were just away on our first vacation of the summer. We're going to take another one at the end of the summer. And
that's kind of a loaded term, right? Vacation. Because I think when people hear the word vacation, they think of maybe a complete departure from, the normal. And I think for us, it's not really a vacation per se for you and me. It's just a change of scenery for us, and it's more of a vacation for the kids.
Well, it's a trip. That's what everyone says. It's a trip. But it's a vacation for them. Yeah. It's not a vacation for us by any means. We're a new place. Although we don't get as much. Like I think if it was just you and I doing a family vacay, just you and I with the kids, that would not be the same. But we also were with my parents. And if anyone knows anything, go with grandparents because you have help. So it was a little bit of a break. I mean, we got to do like things that we ordinarily wouldn't. And I mean, parenting on a beach is always better in my opinion. But with that being said, so that was our first vacation. We're going to go back up to Martha's Vineyard at the end of the month. And
of August.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying. I mean, the chronology, people will be like,
"You're so serious. You are like Mr. Podcaster right now. Just chill out." But you're like you know when in Mrs. Doubtfire when he watches the paleontologist do his show.
Oh, Kovacs, you wicked monkey! No.
Yeah. Anyway, but with vacation, on the topic of discussion, and I actually recently talked about this. I saw a comment in regards to Disney World, and Kev is actually going away soon down to Florida. And if you heard I didn't talk about this on previous episodes.
I think you did talk about Disney.
I don't know. Well, I talked about it on my stories, but I haven't talked about it here. But Kev is going down for a family reunion in Florida, and there was topic of or discussion of whether or not I and the kids would accompany him. And for a weekend trip, absolutely not. If it were me and Kev, yeah. But with the kids and all three of them getting on them on a plane and paying for it and everything, no, not worth it in the slightest.
I think they would do good in the logistics of the travel.
I think Cassidy and Spencer are at the age now where they won't mind flying.
Yeah. I think the flying, the driving aspect of it is completely fine. I don't think it's just being in the park.
Yeah.
I don't think Spencer's old enough. I think Cassidy's right at the age now. Spencer's going to be 4. I don't think he. Well,
it's too much. Anyway, It's too much. So I said, we're not going, but when we were talking about it, I had said, what if we did Disney? Like, what if we stretched the trip? Because obviously we're not going to just go stay a night, come home. That's ridiculous. What if we stayed and did Disney? And I said this naively, just like, I was like, that's easy to do. Let's just stop at Disney, naive. And so I sat down and looked online and looked at the prices. And this was before they're running some like special or something.
Yeah.
And I looked at the prices, and just to get into the park for all of us was around like a little over $2,500 at the time.
That's not like the Hopper Pass.
No, that wasn't even including like anything fancy that you would want if you went to Disney. And I was like, are you fucking kidding
me? And then
me?
all the people who are about it, like in unison, lockstep, are like, oh, there's ways around it.
Oh, yeah. Well, so I shared about it on TikTok, and I had no idea because I posted it, and within like an hour, it was already at like 75,000 views. And the people coming out of the woodworks, and if you're listening and you're a Disney adult, God bless you. Whatever. It's not my thing. It's not Kev's thing. But some people are super defensive about Disney.
Yeah. You got to get the card, and then you open up the card and your card churner, and then you close it out after you. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah. Some people were giving me like advice on like opening all credit cards. And my big thing in this video that I recorded on TikTok was, are people going into debt for Disney?
I don't know. I mean, I did go. So just like looking back on my childhood, we obviously had family down in Florida, and we tried to turn it into a Disney trip when we went down there on, every couple of years. And I don't remember most.
Yeah. How old were you?
I think the last time we went, I was probably 13 or 14. And I don't remember. Like, I remember Splash Mountain. I remember when that opened, Zippity Doo-Dah, and the Thorns at the end. Like, I remember Space Mountain. Like, I don't even think the park is the same.
I have no idea. I mean, I went 3 times. I went when I was 7. I remember that. I remember that being magical.
Yeah.
Like, I remember that. That's why I would love that for Cassidy. And we stayed in the hotel, and we got like the Mickey waffles and Mickey ice cream.
Yeah,
like,
the
I
butter
just remember all that.
I remember the butter that was Mickey.
Yeah, like stuff like that. So I remember those things that were like so freaking cool. And it was just the atmosphere as a kid. It was just so neat. And then I went back my sister, she's 6 years younger. She went back because when we went, she was 1 or 2. So she didn't remember anything. So my mom brought my sister again. I went, and then I went for cheerleading.
Yeah.
So I was older.
I think I had to be 14 or 15. Like, I'm just thinking back on it because...
It's funny, like thinking back now, me thinking about my experiences, I remember it more as a 7-year-old than I do as a teenager.
I vaguely remember going there because we went to Typhoon Lagoon or Blizzard Beach or something, like one of those other areas, which I honestly think is more fun than the park. Like, I think that... I don't remember the
It probably
park.
just doesn't stick in our heads.
I remember MGM because I loved Indiana Jones.
Yeah. Oh, I remember that show that they put on with the guy running in the ball.
Yeah, like I remember that because I loved Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
But like, maybe if I had only gone once or twice in my life, it would have stuck out more in my head. But I vaguely remember.
Well, it's probably because we're teens and it's not as magical as everyone says. But speaking of that magic, so when I posted this video on TikTok, one of the comments came in and then there was like a few that followed up after. And one was a mom, and she said, "This breaks my heart because I know how expensive it is. And I don't think I'll ever be able to do it for my kids. And I feel like such a terrible parent for it." And that's what sparked like the other reel I did where I looked up like kids' happiness and what makes a happy childhood and all of the studies that show that, and no answers anywhere. If you guys haven't seen the following video I did, there's nowhere in research that points that Disney has to be a trip.
It's not
there doesn't even have to be luxurious vacations. Nothing materialistic has ever come through in terms of like what makes a child happy. They looked at like family relationships. So they said that access to friends and family and having a safe environment to sleep, good school systems and supportive school systems. That was really important. Like things that really just were your community and your upbringing, and never Disney. And I think it's such a cultural thing. And I don't know if anyone here is listening, because I do know I have listeners in Europe and UK and stuff like that. I don't know if that's a thing for you guys, but I feel like that's such an American dream.
It's the Americana pilgrimage. Like you gotta go down to Orlando and go to Disney World, or you're not.
Yeah, it's like the American family dream is to like bring your kids there one day. So if you feel like you can't, then you feel like you are failing, and it's absolutely not true.
The funny story about that was my grandfather was responsible for a lot of the air conditioning units being installed in the infrastructure that makes up Disney World. Mm-hmm. And I guess at the time they were either running over budget because Disneyland was like a big failure, and Walt Disney was buying up all like this swampland in Orlando under like shady shell company names like Tomahawk Properties, and he was buying acreage on the dollar. And when they started building it, it was very, very lock and key and secret. And my grandfather ran, still in the family, Flair, Florida Air. He was contracted to install air conditioning units in the underground pathways that a lot of the characters and workers take, because that was one of the problems with Disneyland, was the magic was gone, because you could see like Donald Duck going to take a shit. So it was bad. It was like people were like, this is not magical. So the underground pathways or what?
I'm running.
Yeah. and apparently my grandfather like said, and he was full of stories, so I don't know if this was true or not, but he was like, they, I guess, were like originally promised something, and I guess maybe they couldn't fulfill it, but they said like, oh, we'll give you and your legacy family lifetime passes. Like, who wants to go to this dump? You know, like that was like, but again, I don't know how true that ultimatum was, but realistically, Disney World was not made to be what it is now. Like what it is now. Like I have a video of it, of Cassidy. Like I videoed her, just her feet, because I think she was like probably just in underwear as per usual. But she was in the kitchen, and all of a sudden the questions started coming in. I don't know if you heard it. I don't know if you were home. You may have been upstairs, but she was asking when we can go to Disney World, and she was like, "Can we go tomorrow?" She sees the YouTube videos, like
Ryan's World and these like other vlogs.
That grants a lot of accessibility to it that didn't used to be there. Is like people literally filming in like 4K.
Well, that, and then our kids are seeing it early. So like Disney, I never saw, you only saw commercials for Disney like at the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah.
What are you doing? Because you won the Super Bowl. And I remember they'd be like, I'm going to Disney World.
Yeah. I don't even remember. I really don't even remember like a lot of it. And that's where I feel that at what point do you bring your kids so it's like it actually imprints and like they enjoy it like so much? And like you said, like you remember it being 7.
I think that's like the sweet spot.
I think maybe that would have been it for me. But I really wasn't into like
Disney stuff.
I really wasn't into the Disney stuff, because if I think about me growing up with Disney, I remember Lion King was a big deal. But that was what, 1993? I
feel like there's definitely more for boys now.
Yeah,
like,
I remember seeing like 1989, right? The Little Mermaid. I remember vaguely seeing it in the movie theater. Yeah. I wasn't into it,
but definitely I think like Disney more for our generation. Like for us, I had like there was more girl.
Well, that was the legacy. That was the
movies,
princesses,
like princesses. Yeah, all that stuff. And I don't remember my brother ever being into it.
No, it wasn't. Like you said, it really. I think that there was maybe that hyper focus on because there was for our generation, there was obviously Little Mermaid, Snow White was before our time, Cinderella.
That was before our time, in the 50s.
But then you had
Pocahontas, we had
Belle, like Beauty and the Beast was a huge deal when that came out.
Belle, we had Pocahontas.
Pocahontas. Yeah, and then you had, like even to this day, like now with Elsa and all that.
Anna, yeah. But I still feel like there's more boys stuff. I just don't know how that's represented at the park.
Yeah. I mean, the Star Wars, like, yeah.
Yeah, but Spencer doesn't give a shit.
No, he doesn't get, like
I feel like the sweet spot for Spencer would be, honestly, right now. Where I think he would get excited
but
now.
Disney owns Marvel, so they probably...
Yeah, but he doesn't give a shit about that. But with little boys, like when little boys turn 7, 8, 9, are they really still into that shit?
I don't know. We'll find out. I mean...
I have no idea. Obviously, our kids are little. But, like, I'm trying to, like, go based off of the boys I've ever... Like, the boys I babysat and, like, my brother. Like, I don't remember them ever being into characters.
Yeah.
I remember my brother being into like wrestlers, like people that were like tangible people, while meanwhile I was like out running around believing I was a witch.
That's a separate podcast in and of itself.
No, it's not. I watched Hocus Pocus.
Yeah.
It really got into my head.
Too many times. Which is a Disney movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, they own that.
But again, a lot of it's like girl. I feel like that's a girl thing. I think Spencer would be into it now. I think if we go in 2 years, if that's what we decide to do.
Well, he knows Mickey. Like, he does know Mickey Mouse. He knows the characters. It's just, like you said, like the logistics of the park and, like, gunning around, like him probably having to pee every 10 minutes is going to be if you're waiting online, he's got to.
Well, then that's why you have to buy the Genie Pass.
Yeah, another way they shove it up your ass.
Well, yeah. But that, or like... for me, I think about it, and what I think about is us seeing it. The kids are so excited, which I would love, but I also pictured them seeing everything and their mother in the store, wanting that, throwing fits because we say no, like constantly wanting such a slew of things that like they're not at an age right now where we know like Cassidy's not been listening very well. So like us telling her no, she doesn't really do tantrums, but it's
she sulks.
She sulks, she mopes type of thing. She pouts, then she'll cry.
I was just trying to do this,
Yeah. And then Spencer screams. He still does the tantrums, and Haley is a stinker. She's slowly.
Yeah, I don't know. I honestly think like if you were to ask me what park I think they would have the most fun in, I think it would be Blizzard Beach, or is that even? I don't even know if that's still there, or if it doesn't exist anymore.
Well, right now, yeah, they would love the water park.
Yeah, the Typhoon
Lagoon
was phenomenal. Like I had a grand old time at Typhoon Lagoon.
Yeah, I remember that, but I don't know. I mean. One day, if maybe, but Cassidy was like...
But I also grew up with Action Park. So I went to Action Park, the place, Mount Vernon, like they did like a...
Oh, you went there? You didn't go there.
Yes, I did. I went there a lot. What? Yeah, I went to Action Park a lot. When I was in those years, I went to Action Park.
We're not going to get into that because that's a very niche thing.
Well, no, people can look that up about how it was like so unsafe and like people were getting hurt all the time. But that was a primarily water park themed park, and I enjoyed that a lot.
I do not want to go to a water park. Yeah. Someone recently told me that we should take the kids to Great Wolf Lodge, and I was like, absolutely the fuck no, we will never do that. I've heard reviews, and I recently am so glad I saw one on TikTok. Some lady shared it, and she said, if you want to catch like
venereal disease,
go to Great Wolf Lodge. She's like this big influencer. Going to it. She said we ended up leaving because it was like awful.
Yeah. I think that there's. I think that there's.
Maybe it's your mindset. Maybe we're psyching ourselves up.
If you're thinking of like, Caddyshack and someone taking a shit in the water and it floating around.
That's it. No, she said that. She said you have to clear the pools all the time because Owen always poops in the water.
Oh, it is possible.
I brought our kids to the splash pad. There's a splash pad near us, which is so fun. We actually should take them back there. It was so clean, except Haley picked up a Band-Aid from someone and like nearly put it in her mouth, and I freaked the fuck out.
That could have been game over.
Yeah. But that's vacations.
Yeah. But then I feel like there's like a detox almost that they need when they get home, because now they're bored. Yeah. Now they're still thinking like grandma and grandpa are going to give them ice cream at 9 p.m. and they can do whatever the hell they want.
Yeah. There's like a week over
now,
of us getting back into schedule.
The regiment has to fall back into place. But even for us, it's like we almost sleep better here because when we're there, Haley's in the room with us, and Haley's at the age where she knows we're in the room.
So she stands up, and she's such a stink.
Yeah,
remember that night, the last night that we were there, Haley woke up at 2 a.m. and didn't fall back asleep until 5.
When we had to drive.
We had to drive the next morning. But we tried.
Drank a lot during the videos you saw were that day leading up to that.
Kev and I went on our anniversary date. So usually when we do that, because we usually always go up to Martha's Vineyard right after our anniversary.
Well, it lines up with July 4th.
Yeah, 4th of July. So we always, our anniversary is June 27th. But we always are up there during the 4th. And so we always make a point to go out up there as opposed to celebrating here. And my parents will take the kids, and usually we just do lunch because it's easier than worrying about bedtimes at this point with the kids and whatever. And so we went out and we got a few drinks, and I don't drink hardly anymore. So for me, it was like got smacked. And then of course, Haley woke up at 2 a.m. until 5. And every time I bent over in the crib, my head was throbbing and I could tell I still was drunk, like that slight dizziness. And I was like, oh shit. And she kept crying, and we tried. I put her down. I put her with the passy. I just told Kev to lay there and shut up. Like, shut up. Don't move. And she would stand and she would scream. And she does like a scream that's like, eh. And then you could hear her pacifier because it's like there's a clip on it, and you could hear the plastic, and she would throw it. And she knew that if she threw it, we would have to get it to go up and get her.
Yeah. No, not fun.
I was like, oh my God.
Kev
went with her. He held her for a little bit while I tried sleeping. I went, and then finally her and I both fell asleep on the couch. Yeah, but that's vacation. I mean, like I said, we're with my parents, so we do have a little bit of like a break. My mom does laundry, which you should see the laundry pile we did. So like, there's things like that. But I think, whether we, wrapping this all together like Disney, whatever vacation you do, it has to be
Don't
It can't all just be for your kids.
expect it to be a vacation for yourself.
Well, yeah, set the bar low, but it's also like, because some people are like, just go, your kids will thank you for it. It cannot just be for your kids. You have to have some want in and of yourself to do this.
I mean, I would say honestly, the vacation wasn't even really a vacation per se. When we went up to Montauk for your birthday, when we only had Cassidy, that was probably the closest semblance to something a vacation while having a kid.
Yeah, well, she was only 5 months old, so that was easy.
Then it has been nothing equatable to that, and probably the only time we've gone on vacation was back.
We'll be back after a quick break.
Eye-Opening Moments podcasts are real-life stories of adversity, encounters, and perspectives. They are moments that can lift your spirits, give you some food for thought, or move you. For the introspective mind that likes to reflect, discover, and find solutions or meaning in a complex life, listen to Eye-Opening Moments podcasts.
I think the only time that we haven't had a time like that, because if I think we had Cassidy, that first summer with Cassidy, it wasn't bad because we had help. So with one kid, it wasn't that terrible that first summer. The second summer, I was pregnant and heavily pregnant. And then we had Spencer. And then the following summer after that was when he was like Haley. Well, Haley, he was the first version. Haley, Spencer 2.0, but Spencer was like clung to me. That's why I don't know if you guys, if I'll insert a clip right here if you guys are watching on Reels, but this was the summer that I had to put a bag over my head because he was like so attached to me where if I were even in the room, he'd freak out. That's how Haley is.
Yeah.
And then the following summer, I was not pregnant. Was I pregnant?
No. No.
Yes, I was.
Were you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, because he would have been
Yeah.
when we went up to summer. He would have turned 1 in September, so he was only 9 to 10 months old.
No.
And then we got pregnant with Haley when he was 17 or 18 months.
Didn't realize that.
And then the following summer, Haley was a newborn, and that was last summer.
Yeah, chronology.
Then,
my chronology is off.
Now this is like the first summer where we just have a like little one without me being pregnant.
Yeah.
Oh my God. We'll see what next year looks like.
Yeah, no. Spoiler alert, no.
Well, it's all mindset, right?
Yeah.
It's not a vacation for us. It's a vacation for them. They need to learn how vacations are made, and that's where it's going to come from us. So I think that's an important thing for us to keep in mind is that, yeah, we can all joke it's just a trip. It's a change of location. It's a change of scenery. It is. But also, wouldn't you rather be parenting at the beach? I would.
And I mean, and like when people know that, our upcoming tentative, if you don't bail out, going to
I can't bail out.
London. Yeah. You still could. It's not set in stone until you step foot on the plane. The plane takes off.
That's true.
But even then, that's not real. I mean, that would. But like if people know that I'm not around in terms of, I'm working. So it's like, even for that, I'm working leading up to what I have to do while I'm there. Yeah. So it's like, if I, when you post up stories or like I was somewhere else or something like that, I'm working when I'm doing that.
Yeah. I don't think anyone's ever thought.
I think some people do think that.
They think that you're going on vacation?
Not that I'm going on vacation, like, oh, it must be nice to get away.
I think that.
Yeah.
But I think that though.
But I'm working.
But you still have downtime, and you still get to go out for drinks, and you still get your own hotel room, and you still get your own bed.
Listen, it's hard work.
Yeah.
Very hard work.
I think when you're at work, I'm like, this must be fucking nice. I'll get to do that in November. I'm going to LA, people. Actually, Katie and I are going to talk about this.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
You'll hear about it. Listen to the Katie's Corner episode. You'll hear all about Los Angeles. We're going to meet some actors. I asked Kev the other day, I said, what would happen if I'm in the hotel lobby? We're sitting at the bar. We're going to wrap up after this. But I said, we're sitting at the hotel bar. Chris Hemsworth walks in. He looks at me. He said, you, me,
Listen,
let's go.
How can I compete with that? Go ahead.
It would just be once.
All right. I hope you're pregnant after that.
Oh
Then
God,
you will
imagine.
be pregnant.
Would you pretend like it was yours?
Yeah, I would raise him as my own. But you'd be a lot better looking than me, so it might be hard.
Yeah. Or a lot uglier. It could be like the ugly gene got passed forward. But that's my hall pass. So fingers crossed. Just kidding. That would ever. I wouldn't know what to do in that situation.
What if it was the older Zac and the before Zac Efron?
Oh God. I have dreams constantly that him and I were in a relationship. I have my dreams consist of us being in a relationship and us in a fight. And I'm so stressed out in my dream because he won't pick up my phone calls. It's so bad. Oh, he's so hot.
Very talented too. I will say that. He is incredibly talented.
Kevin believes that he put me into labor.
He did. She watched The Greatest Showman, and then Cassidy was born. So.
I didn't watch The Greatest Showman. I watched The Neighbors.
Oh,
With
no.
Cassidy.
What?
I was supposed to go see The Greatest Showman. And I didn't because I was crampy that day.
Oh, so one of the other Zac Efron movies got her. But no, yeah, he's very, very talented.
No. Who's your hall pass? Who's your girl?
I wanted to say, what's her name? Watson's wife. Yeah, everyone
from,
loves Beth from Yellowstone now. And it's when she was Watson's wife, I found her attractive. Still,
From Sherlock Holmes. Kev has loved her since that movie.
I found her very attractive back then. She's still very attractive now. Even
As Beth.
But now everybody knows her as Beth from Yellowstone. I would say her.
I would agree on that. Beth is hot.
Or what's her name? The actress, she's in The Greatest Showman. Now she's in Silo as the sheriff in Silo.
Oh, that chick?
Yeah, I think she's very I think
So you're attracted to redheads.
No, that's not. Is she redhead? No, she's not a redhead in Silo.
Yes, she is.
No.
Yeah.
She has blonde hair in Silo.
She doesn't.
Yes, she does.
No, she doesn't. You're attracted to
We are
redheads.
watching. Are we watching the same show?
Put it on.
She's not is she really a redhead in real life?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know. No, regardless, she's very attractive.
Should I dye my hair red?
No, I didn't even know that. I didn't know that was a
Is that
commonality.
what you need? Do I need to do that?
No, do not. Please do not dye your hair red.
I'm going to get a wig.
No. Yeah, your Annie wig.
Oh, I should get my Annie wig.
Don't ever get the Annie wig.
Can you imagine? Just opening your eyes while we're in the middle of the act. Just look up and it's doot, doot, doot.
No.
Yes. Well, yes. Anyhow. All right. Well, this episode was great.
Yeah.
We're going to go.
Download it.
Yeah, actually, can you guys leave a review if you guys are done? Because we're at 30-minute mark, so you have time, okay? Leave a rating and review when you guys have a chance because they significantly help me. I finally hit 100,000 downloads. Thank you for everyone that has downloaded.
95,000 of those were me, just constantly hitting download. So
that doesn't work like that.
Yeah, 5,000 of you out there. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. But seriously, it's pretty freaking cool. So that is it. We'll catch you next time.
Peace out.
Another episode down. Thank you all so much for listening. If you loved today's episode, I would be so appreciative if you would leave a rating and review. I cannot begin to tell you how much those mean to me, but also how much they help me get in front of more eyes and more ears. As always, be sure to check back every Tuesday and Friday for a new episode, whether it's an episode with me and my husband, me and Katie, or just another incredible amazing guests. Stay tuned for more honest, real, raw chit chat. And hey, do me a favor before you go. Remind yourself how amazing you are, how enough you are, how special you are. And boy, oh boy, I sure am glad to have you here. Thanks, friend.